What is your NSFW secret that you are proud of? I was on a date with a girl probably out of my league. We eventually made it to a park and strolled onto a small bridge. There was a rushing stream below us, and it was nighttime, so no one was there next to us. Hearing all the water below really made me have to pee, like, really bad. So as both of us were leaning over the rail watching the stream, I quietly unzip and whip out my willy. I pee down a support to minimize the splashing. The relief I felt was orgasmic. 8-10 would do again. Whip out my willy. Got together with a girl who was also in second year at university with me. It was pretty carnal. We were really attracted to one another and hooked up often and aggressively. It was hot. Anyway, one of the first few times we got together she invited me over. I went into her room and she had a red, sheer, satin sheet thrown over her lampshade casting a red hue to the room. She had high thread count Egyptian cotton sheets, and tons of pillows on her bed. She also had, beside the bed, a bowl of mixed fruit. We made duck and afterwards I lay back in the afterglow of the sex onto a mountain of pillows with her draped, naked, across me laying on my chest amidst expensive cotton sheets, and she began to duck and feed me fruit from the fruit bowl, like actually holding cherries up for me to bite off the stem. I felt like a ducking sultan. It was amazing. I wrote erotica and dirty fanfic in high school for money. It helped me grow as a writer and paid for my needs. I charged based on length and content. Base charges: 5-10 pages 8, 11 15 10 16 plus 13 content charges. Vanilla free, BDSM 2, furry 3. I am on a list now 5. Hilariously enough, I was voted most likely to write a bestseller in the yearbook. The teachers were confused as to why my class laughed so hard when I was given the certificate. Edit formatting. My wife and I put a penny in the bank every time we have sex. I know the exact number of times I have had sex in my life because I have only ever had sex with my wife. I have a wheat penny tattoo on my right leg that I got on our anniversary, I think 6th year. We also know how many times it took to conceive our 2 kids because we used nickels for one and dimes for the other. We count pennies every anniversary and write down totals and average for the year. Some people know this story, including friends at work, but it is not something I did say is 100% safe for work. Kid: Mom, Dad, what is with the jar of coins in your room? Dad: that is how many times we made love. Kid: what about the nickel, dimes, and quarters? Dad: nickels and dimes were how many tries to conceive you too. Kid: and the quarters? Dad: those were for very special moments, far in between. I had a threesome where all parties involved were actually attracted to one another. Whoa, nice. In high school, me and my best friend challenged a girl to a competition on who could come the most in one day using an honor system. I lost at 7 times, but he got to 11. And she beat us both at 26. To this day I regret not stating in the rules no vibrators allowed. The spirit is willing but the flesh is spongy and bruised. The first time I came home on leave from the army, I had not seen my wife in 7 months. We stayed at my parents' house. She had moved in with her mother in that time to save money. My parents went out the first night we were there to see a movie without us, in a kind of wink-wink nod-nod situation. I had been in an incredibly stressful environment for 7 months without seeing my wife. I was also now highly physically fit. I ducked that girl so hard I broke my cherry wood bed frame and the bed collapsed underneath us. I was pretty busy that week and forgot to fix it before I left for Germany. The first phone call to my dad, he said, "Oh yeah, laughing, I fixed your bed frame for you. I do not know what you did to that poor girl, but I hope she is alright." More laughing. I was the male star of a porn shoot on an amateur website based in Ocean City, MD, during the late 90s. Edit website was known as Feedlands, although the owner, named Baby, passed away a few years later, and the domain registration expired. I learned about the studio from a worker in a t-shirt shop on the boardwalk. It was located in West Ocean City, in an industrial park, next to construction businesses if I remember correctly. Very discreet, but a full professional studio with casting couches, beds, etc. But I later learned that it was a widely known and respected site to view paid amateur porn. The pay rate was $100 hour. Edit 2 seems Baby is still alive. but her husband was the owner, and he apparently took his own life. RIP to him. And my inbox. Sorry for my bad English. It's my second language. Not sure if this fits here. Not proud of the moment. But I am proud of the result. Me and my wife had kids, and decided that that was enough children. We got married after the kids were born, and went on a honeymoon. We got drunk and had sex, without protection. The next day we panicked a bit, and went to a drug shop and got a regret pill. My wife took it at a hotel room. Crisis cancelled. After this we thought nothing about it, and continued with the honeymoon. Like half an hour late she gave me a blowjob. She never ever gives me blowjobs as she chokes easily, so this was a real treat for me. When I came hard, and the cum shot landed at the back of her mouth, and she puked all over the floor and my dick. We laughed it off, and joked about it for the rest of the vacation. A few weeks after, when we came home, she did not get her period. We got anxious, and it turned out she was pregnant. The only time we had sex without protection was at that hotel room. When she puked after the blowjob, she must have puked out the pill as well. So, now we have 3 kids. The youngest is as amazing as the other 2, and I am proud to have him, but he must never ever find out how he was conceived. Turns out blowjobs do make babies. What is your NSFW secret? Woo, my time to contribute has come, that you are proud of. I guess I will just read the comments this time. What is your NSFW secret that you are not proud of? I am a very known vet in my city. Since it's very rural, I mostly take care of big animals like cows or horses. There was one lamb breeder that was having a very difficult time since his younger male died. His old age male could keep up with the sheep, and since it's very difficult to find sheep in my country, I had to masturbate every week until a new young male arrived. The thing is, I had to masturbate him orally to resemble a sheep vagina. Saved the herd and got paid more. Nobody knows, only me and the breeder. I am a hip disarticulate amputee on my left side, meaning they took the entire leg. I just have a fleshy lump there, right up next to my crotch. This means I get to say my dick is longer than my left leg as a factual statement. There are very few good things about being an amputee, so I take what I can get. Edit. I have never experienced this level of upvoting and positive commenting. You guys have cheered me up when I was not in the best of moods. I finally found out what positive karma is good for on this site. A smile and shared laughter. Thanks for being a positive part of my day. I will pay it forward whenever possible. Edit 2. Here is a picture of my hardware so folks understand what hip disarticulate means. Link. Here is a pic when I was nearly dead. Link. I am not conscious, and I am that big because the infection that was killing me inflamed my entire body. Here is me now. Link. I do have some of my right leg still. I also have an artificial hip, as you saw in the x-ray. The artificial hip will help me with the prosthetics I am getting fitted for. When I was in college, I lived in a dorm that had a pool table room. One night, I was drunk with my then boyfriend, and we stumbled in there at around 3 a.m. to have sex. We ended up stripping down totally, not really caring about our nudity since the dorm was dead that night. While we were doing the deed, we ended up on the ground on the non-door facing side of the table, and almost immediately, someone opens the door and turns the light on. And I freeze. I turn my head to look under the table and see their feet freeze as they see our clothes scattered everywhere. Not a noise was made. No one moved. Complete awkwardness for what felt like forever, aka about 7 seconds. The other guy just turned the light off and backed out, and we never got caught. Edit. Okay, we got caught obviously, but I more meant that they never found out who we were. Trust me, we would have heard it from someone in the dorm. On our honeymoon, my wife gave me a blowjob while I was standing at the window to our hotel room, looking out over Niagara Falls Canadian side. To this day, I am proud to say that I have received a BJ while looking down on one of the natural wonders of the world. Edit. For those suggesting that I add the remaining natural wonders to my bucket list, I am afraid I have to disappoint you. A bout with cancer and complications from a 22-hour surgery to remove the tumor has resulted in some plumbing problems, among which are inability to get an erection. So, while I have some very nice memories of sex, that is about it. There would not be any new ones anytime soon. And Niagara Falls, this guy is smooth. When I was in college, I worked at a vet clinic. I did go in on weekends to take care of the boarders, and I did generally go in myself. My girlfriend would join from time to play with the puppies. We ducked on my boss' desk, in the hallway, and on the surgery table which I tied her to. We are married now. I have had sex with a few porn stars. A couple of them do escorting at a relatively acceptable price, and a few years ago I decided to indulge. I do not know how to describe it. Best experience in my entire life. They literally made me discover a new level of pleasure in sex. I am a pretty vanilla guy, did not do anything out of the ordinary with them, but holy crap, this is something I obviously would not talk about in public, but it rocked my life in so many ways. An incredible experience for sure. Had the best sex to date when a friend of mine said he had give me a ride home after a long day of work. The car ride was long but immensely fun because of our playful bantering. We swapped sex stories, and I could count on having a great conversation with him because of our common interests. He came inside my small apartment and one thing led to another. Basically, we went a few rounds, tried many positions that had me bending in awkward angles but felt really good, and we eventually moved my mattress so much that it flipped on us. Oh, and during his more rougher go's, we broke my curtain rod. He also enjoyed my impromptu twerking during doggy, which I had never done before but felt so damn good, so plan to do again. Also learned that I could squirt that day. All in all, it was an amazing night. He came inside my small apartment. I bet he did, but did he wear a condom? I was in a poly relationship for a year and a half. Myself, my girlfriend, and her girlfriend, our roommate. The only sex I had for a year and a half was threesomes, but there was one time I am particularly proud of. The three of us took a summer camping trip to my favorite spot in the Catskills. There is a hike up a stream through the mountains that ends at a waterfall with a big swimming hole. I have a bit of a thing for ducking outdoors, and the ladies were feeling it too, so we found a big flat rock and went to town, totally naked, out in the open, the roar of the waterfall mixing with our moans of pleasure, and then we went swimming. It was pretty ducking excellent. Got my dick sucked dry by a girl within 10 minutes of ducking meeting her. I don't know how I did it, but I've only told one friend. Would like to tell more people friends, but I don't know if they believe something so random. Edit lol, I didn't even get her name or number. This happened recently and I am still kicking myself for it, laughing my butt off. I once made my college girlfriend scream so much and so loud during an orgasm that her downstairs neighbor, a kind, elderly woman, came upstairs, rapped on the door, and insisted that if she did not hear my GFS voice immediately, she was gonna call the cops. We both lay in bed, laughing as my GF reassured her that she was quite well, thank you. After that, she tended to cram a pillow or stuffed animal in her mouth to muffle the sound effects. LOL. Downstairs neighbor also works as a euphemism for vagina. Her vagina literally came up and asked if she was okay. I hate it when my south mouth talks back. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.